Hello everyone and welcome. Today we have a lot of different news covering Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, some updates, a certain website purposefully spreading misinformation or clickbaiting about the game, some cool concept footage, with a familiar cut feature from the original Breath of the Wild, a brand new amazing Link statue from First Four Figures, and more. If you come across any interesting Nintendo and Zelda news or rumors, please comment them below or reach out to us on Twitter or our Discord to let us know, and we will credit you when we make a video covering it. The question I would love for all of you to answer in the comments below: when do you hope and when do you honestly believe Nintendo will show or reveal more on Breath of the Wild 2? This Link statue will be available for pre-order starting August 16th during a live stream showing off and promoting the figure. Personally, I love First Four Figures. They make a lot of the absolute best statues I have seen, not just for Zelda either. I'm sure you've seen a lot of them in the background of our podcast, the Highland Games Cast. In just the past year or two, they've had the Princess Zelda statue, Majora's Mask statue, announced statues of all four champions, a Hylian shield, this new statue of Link on Epona, and if marketing material is accurate, we can expect a high-quality Sheikah slate in the near future. I am almost positive we will also see Breath of the Wild 2 statues being announced as well, considering how well the original game and all of the statues previously made for it have done. So I can't wait for a high-quality statue of Link's new look, showing off his updated armor, the damage to his hand and arm, with all the jewelry coming up it, and we can't forget about the damaged or corrupt Master Sword. But I would also really love to see a statue of Link casting the spell, like we've seen in the first trailer. And I'm also going to keep my fingers crossed for a zombified Ganondorf statue. Let me know in the comments below if any of you have any Zelda collectibles or statues, and what your favorite that you own is. Second, we have these really cool images that you may have seen before. We have a great video covering a bunch of early beta stuff like this and much more in this video here if you want to check it out. I believe these images were originally found by the people at DigiKnow. As for just these two images, it isn't much, just showing Nintendo seems to have almost always wanted to include Link skydiving in Breath of the Wild, not just the sequel. I do believe I covered these in the video mentioned previously, but didn't actually focus on the skydiving and connect it to Breath of the Wild 2. Just noticed it was similar to Skyward Sword. Thought, oh, cool, and then mainly focused on the background. We also have beta and concept art for Breath of the Wild showing islands in the sky, even Ganondorf. So it's interesting to think how close we were to actually getting Breath of the Wild 2 as the original Breath of the Wild. If you just can't get enough Breath of the Wild 2 news, check out this video here covering everything Aonuma, Miyamoto, Fujibayashi, and others at Nintendo have said about Breath of the Wild 2 in official interviews and announcements. And there is quite a lot of interesting stuff in here. I'll also be making an update video to it sometime within the next week, as I didn't realize until after the video went up that I forgot a few things. And some of you have even sent me some interviews that I completely left out. Third, in our most recent video, we covered Nintendo having new patents for upscaling technology, Monolith Soft using their own new upscaling for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which greatly improves the visuals compared to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and how they could be applied to Breath of the Wild 2, since Monolith Soft worked on many of the most recent mainline Zelda games, including Breath of the Wild 2. And this could allow the sequel to run in a smooth 1080p and 30 or 60 frames per second, instead of 900p and 30 frames, and dropping down to around 720p and a frame rate below 20. However, the new upscaling isn't as good as Nvidia's DLSS, but still greatly improves visual quality. Starting with the website, Inverse.com, who we kind of have a past relationship with, sort of. But first, they have been using horrible methods of clickbait that really just make their website seem very unprofessional. Some of you have asked me about this, and I think Daniel was the first one to actually point it out to me. They have went back to almost every Breath of the Wild or Breath of the Wild 2 article on their website and randomly edited the title and possibly even the actual articles to include the words release date. even when it makes the original title make absolutely no sense. This is because of Breath of the Wild 2 originally meant to release in 2022, and its delay until 2023. Everyone was looking for more information on the release date and even rumored release dates. By randomly adding release date in every title with Breath of the Wild or Breath of the Wild 2, it may cause their website or articles to show up before others and confuse people to click. Which doesn't make too much sense to me, honestly, because you would imagine someone would notice the titles read as if they were written by a drunk person, and they would know to just avoid the website in the future, thanks to obvious clickbait. Now, that relationship I spoke of is actually kind of a funny story. They have been nice enough to cover a bunch of our videos before, although there has been 1 or 2 times when they covered a video of ours, and in the article, they would write that we said the exact opposite of what we actually do say in the video, as if they only watched 1 or 2 minutes and rushed to cover the video without fact-checking or actually paying attention, guessing at what the video is about. This caused other websites to cover the videos using what Inverse had written, and suddenly I'm having to make an entirely new video to correct the misinformation, and in some cases complete lies they wrote. So if you're looking for articles or websites covering Zelda news or rumors, it may be best to avoid this one and go for Zelda Universe, Zelda Dungeon, Nintendo Life, Nintendo Everything, IGN, and some of the other trusted websites. Finally, we have moved our Zelda podcast, the Hylian Gamescast, from Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern and 6:30 p.m. Pacific to Mondays at 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. Pacific, though those hours may change. So look forward to the next episode of the Hylian Gamescast this Monday around 1 Eastern. If you have any questions you would like for us to answer, or news and topics you would like us to discuss in a video or our podcast, you can leave them below in the comments, and we will get to as many as we can. And if you are a Patreon supporter, we will guarantee that your answer is moved to the top of the list to be answered or discussed first on our podcast, which happens every Thursday at 9:30 Eastern or 6:30 Pacific. Thank you to Riker1 Tramel Shefford, someone whose name is only donated to hear Jesse speak my name and then didn't give me his name, Gene Pinna, Disappointment, Joseph Stewart, ZAIN JIWANI, SOBERX, Mr. Monocled Metroid, David Guthman, Zoe M, Natsu, Jesse Wood, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Star, Monica Spath, Lovable Christy, and Gus Calvo. I apologize if I got some of your names wrong. Please comment below, or you can message me directly to correct how I pronounced your name. Thank you all for your support, and I hope these videos keep entertaining everyone.